Season's greetings, everyone. It's me, Crystalline, your proactive conscious aging life coach. How are you guys doing today? I'm joyful in the Lord and in the power of His might. Today is Vlogmas Day 3, and I'm excited to be feeling much better today than I did yesterday. So, today we are going to talk about sending Christmas cards, and this is just going to be a little informal chat because it's time for me to send out my Christmas cards. This year I said that I wanted to send them out earlier. I always tend to send them out a little bit late, and I didn't want to do that this year. Some people would say today is late. Today is December 6th, and I'm just getting these out. I'm going to get these out tonight, and I don't have that many to send, so there's no excuse. So let's just talk about these Christmas greeting cards. Did you know that the custom of sending greeting cards, it goes all the way back to the ancient Chinese, I'm reading it, who exchanged messages of goodwill to celebrate the new year. And then also the early Egyptians conveyed greetings on papyrus scrolls, and then by the early 15th century, greeting cards were starting to be exchanged in Europe. So greeting cards have a long history, and that kind of brings us up to why we send cards today. Before I get going too much though, I have to remind you, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Make a lot of comments, share this video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get my videos just as soon as I upload them. So, we're going to have a chit chat about these Christmas cards. Now, we send cards for all different occasions, and nowadays, a lot of young people, they don't even bother to send a card. They just send like a email card or e-card. And that custom has gotten so deplorable that people are actually sending invitations by email. I mean, I don't even know how people think they can get away with that and not be in the height of tackiness, but I digress, as I often do. Anyway, so when I was thinking about sending these Christmas cards last night, I started thinking about some things which I thought that we could chat about. And actually I have them all written down here, as I usually do. And that's why I asked you to make a lot of comments so I can get your feedback on the thoughts that I'm going to talk about. We're going to chat about family and friends relationship at Christmas time. Let me show you these beautiful cards that we picked up on Monday. Look at that. It has the red and the green and the silver glitter. I think they're just so pretty. And it says, "Let heaven and nature sing." And inside it says, May Christmas put a joyful song in your heart. And it has a lot of room over here, so we can write any kind of greeting that we want to whoever we're sending our cards to. I got my pen, I got my stamps, and I'm all set to go. Another thing, before I get started, I wanted to show you this beautiful ornament. I don't even know what you call it. Is it an ornament? Is it a lantern? Whatever. I saw this at Walgreens today, and I just thought it was so cute. It's it's such a glare. I'm sorry. There we go. It's two cardinals in there, and it plays music. Isn't that cute? I love it. And then they had these buy one, get one 50% off. So I also got a big pretty cardinal, and I put it downstairs in the kitchen window. And Jim and I, we like cardinals. So anything with a cardinal, I'm always going to get it usually. Okay, always, usually. You know what I mean. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. I just wanted to show you that I'm trying to get into the holiday spirit right now. So I'm putting some little things out here and there. And I bought the little Christmas tree. I still haven't decorated it yet, but that's coming. Anyway, family and friends relationship at Christmas. Now, you may or may not know if you've been watching the internet or looking at the news or whatever, I just want to talk 1 second about what's happening with the royal family and the accusations that have been made against them by this author, Omid Scobie. They have been accused of racism, and actually he just published this book. The book came out. It went to a Dutch translator, and the names of these so-called royal racists that Meghan Markle talked about were put into the Dutch version by accident. Okay, this has caused a firestorm of fury across the internet. And what I thought was, you may or may not like the royal family. You may or may not like Meghan Markle, whatever. But for something like this to happen to a person's family at Christmas time is really, really sad. At Christmas time, we are celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. It's a time when families want to come together and be unified and enjoy each other. Can you imagine being on the world stage and having something like that happen to your family? I cannot. So that was one thing that I was thinking about when I thought about writing out my Christmas cards. I thought about how Christmas usually means a coming together of the family, unifying, doing things together, sharing food, giving gifts and presents. But what else? What else does it mean? What does it mean to you? I like to hear that down in the comments section. So that was one thought that I had, that I think it is extremely embarrassing to have all of your business put out on the world stage. And when something like that happens, the people who have done the perpetrating, they can't go back, right? So now they're going to be on their own to raise their family and make their own Christmas time traditions. Now, speaking of traditions, I remember when I was a little girl growing up, my mom used to send out a stack of Christmas cards about that high. I'm so serious. Every year, she would send a Christmas card to every person that she knows, okay? Or that she knew. And I used to send out quite a few Christmas cards, but I have come to some conclusions about that. Now, I'm going to tell you, this box right here has 16 cards, okay? So this is 16 cards that have to be, given out to 16 people, or maybe a few more, because a couple of the cards are going to be sent to 2 people, like a couple. But Jim and I are sending out 16 cards. So if we split it up fairly, that would be 8 cards apiece for both of us. And so the reason why we stopped giving out so many cards, when I think about it, last year we said we were going to scale way down. Because first of all, and I hate to say this, we didn't get that many Christmas cards. And so I started to think, well, giving out cards and showing love should never be like a tit for tat situation. However, it made me start to question, who thinks I'm important? Who cares about me? And so what I thought was, this year, I'm going to send out my cards to people who I truly, truly care about, and that I know they care about me. So that was another reason why I wanted to send my cards out early, because I didn't want to wait until December 15th and see who all sends me cards, and then I'm going to send them a card back. That's not good. Okay. I'm trying to be more, not realistic. What's the word I'm thinking of? I'm trying to be more authentic as I get older. And so I said, well, I have a list of people who are really important to me, who I want to send holiday greetings to. And so that's what I'm going to do this year. And so I'll just show you something funny, because I asked Jim to give me the addresses of the people that he wants to send his cards to. And they're going to be coming from both of us, but they're, people who he has the addresses to. And here's the list. You see what I'm saying? So it is, let's see. It's 2 couples and 2 sisters on here so far. Yeah. And he has about 3 more, but he just didn't give me the addresses yet. And the rest of the cards are going to be for people who I want to send greetings to. So we pared way down. And like I said, the reason is because we want to send cards to people who we really feel, connected with. I want to say it like this: connected with. I think that's so important to celebrate this season with authenticity this year. So that's what we're doing. My mom, God bless her. The good thing about her sending those cards out the way she did is that she showed me that this was the right thing to do. Sometimes people live a long way, like my brother. He lives in California. So I'm probably not going to be flying to California for Christmas. So I make sure that I send him a card. I make sure that I call him on Christmas Day. So that's what's important to me, conveying that love and the joy of the birth of Jesus on that day. So let me just ask you something. Can you just put in the comments section, what to you is the meaning of sending those cards? What does it mean exactly to you when you send out a greeting card? We're just going to have a chit chat today for Vlogmas Day 3. I hope you guys can get into that. Okay, that's one question. Also, how do you spend Christmas? I remember when I was little, my parents were divorced, and I loved Christmas time. It was my favorite holiday, but it was somewhat traumatic, and I'm going to tell you why. With my parents being divorced, I had 2 families that I was supposed to spend time with on Christmas, and that is really hard for a child, I'm going to tell you. So what would happen is, generally speaking, I would go over to my father's first. He would pick me up and I would spend time with him and my stepmother and her son and my sister. And we would have Christmas over there. And then later on, he would take me over to my mother's family and I would have Christmas over there. And my mother's family was huge. Okay, there were 9 original children that my grandmother had, and each of those children had children. I mean, we have like a gazillion people in our family. I can't even count them. I probably don't even know them now. But that's how I spent my Christmases. My time was divided between 2 families like that. That was traumatic for me, and I'm going to tell you why, because it did cause some splitting and some compartmentalization in my personality structure. I'm just keeping it real. Do you have an experience like that? If you do and you want to share it, please put it in the comments section. To me, it would have been better for my parents to choose. Okay, this year you're going to spend it with your father and his relatives, and then this year you're going to spend it with your mother and her relatives, rather than splitting the day up like that. So to me, I loved Christmas, but I really had to adjust to going back and forth between families like that. And the other thing is that my mother, she wanted to have me believe in Santa Claus and something else happened. I remember she had gone out and bought a bunch of toys for me, and she had them in the trunk of her car. And one day we were pulling up to the house, we were getting out of the car. My mother opened the trunk for something, and I just hopped out the car, and I'm curious, I'm trying to see what she's doing. And I got a glimpse of the toys in the trunk. And my mother got mad at me and hollered at me and everything. And that just kind of blew my mind, because I was like, oh, wait a minute. These toys are here, and she's trying to tell me there's Santa Claus. And so I had to believe in Santa Claus, even though I saw those toys in the trunk. See, there's another trauma. When I had my daughter, and God bless her, she was born on Christmas Day at 6:10 in the evening, praise the Lord. But when I had her, I raised her to believe in Jesus Christ. There was no Santa Claus. I didn't want her to believe in something that wasn't true, and then to have her beliefs shattered like that, the way mine were. So can you relate to that? Okay, I'm not going to tell you all my traumatic memories of Christmas. Those were just a couple. Just in general, what has Christmas meant to you over the years? I love Christmas. When I was little, I used to go to sleep under the Christmas trees, and I would look at the beautiful stars making patterns on my ceilings. And, it was just wonderful. It was a magical, magical time of year. And I have always tried to keep that magic alive. It's the spirit of Christmas, knowing that on Christmas Eve, Christ was born. It just, it's a story that sends the chills and shivers down my spine. I just love it. So when I'm talking about sending out my Christmas cards, all of these feelings are being conveyed in the love and the greetings that I send to each person. And so now that I'm even thinking about it more, it really makes a lot more sense that I'm not sending these cards out to every different person that I know. Now, these are like personal cards. What we'll probably do for our church family is to get another box of little cards and just, give them out to our friends at church. And that is just to say, Merry Christmas to you. So glad that you're part of my church family. That's a whole kind of other feeling than the cards that we send here with personal messages. What do you think about that? Do you give out, other cards? You give out certain cards to certain groups of people and then other cards to other groups of people? Let me know in the comments section, okay? So, the other thing, family relationships can be amplified during the holidays, and Christmas in particular. I gave you the example of the royal family at the beginning of the video. As I said, I cannot even imagine what they must be going through personally. But just think about, like, in your own family. Are there any people who are like the black sheep who show up and cause trouble all the time, every Christmas or every holiday? Are there rifts in your family where people don't get along and then they show up together and it's like, trying to keep them away from each other, that sort of thing? Are there just new people in the family that everyone is trying to get adjusted to? Now, Jim and I, we're going to be celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary this Friday. And so I haven't been in their family that long. And when I first came into their family, I felt very, very, very welcome. I guess I kind of relate to what the royals are going through with their daughter-in-law, because my husband is white and he introduced me to his family, of course, and they're all white. And I'm an African-American black woman. And he and I had no qualms with that, when he introduced me to them. But, that could have been a problem in some families when somebody comes with a person, a girlfriend or boyfriend that they're about to marry, and they're introducing them to the family, and it's a person of another race, that can cause a rift in the family. Fortunately, it never did. They welcomed me with open arms, and there was no problem. There never has been a problem whatsoever. And the same with my family. My family welcomed Jim with open arms. They say, you a family member now, just come on here, make yourself at home. At first, I think Jim had a little trouble getting used to being embraced like that. I think his family was just a little bit more conservative. Our family is touchy-feely. Come on, let me give you a hug, And so he had to get used to that, but he's used to it now. And so it's been 5 years for us. But, different things like that can cause problems in a family. Let me know what kind of rifts are going on in your family. What kind of challenges are you facing during the Christmas season? And even more importantly, How do you plan to handle those challenges that are going to happen amongst your family during the holiday season? So, what else do I have here? I said that becoming mature, I'm happy to be getting older because everything that I know now, I didn't know when I was younger. And I praise God for that. And I'm happy for the maturity that I have right now, and to know that I don't have to send a Christmas card to every person I ever met in my whole life in order to feel good about greeting people and sending love over the holidays. You know, with age cometh wisdom, and I really appreciate that. You know, I am trying to be more authentic. I have some friends who are no longer in my circle of friends. Do I send them a card or not? You know, I think it would be okay to send them a text or an email card. What do you think? How do you handle those kind of situations? Do you have boundaries like that? I think boundaries are a good thing. And I'm never the kind of person who wants to be seen as approach when someone is pushing me away. Now, I used to do that when I was younger. And I remember a funny thing that my cousin told me. She was talking about in romantic relationships. She said, I don't want no man who don't want me. And that's what she said. And so I always remembered that. And I just kind of, transferred that to all of my important relationships. I don't want anyone who doesn't want me. So I set a boundary right there. And I said, who is really my friend? Who is really a family member who is in contact with me, who calls me, who invites me to their parties, who gives, wants me to come over? Who are those people? That's who are going to be getting my cards this year. What do you guys think about that? Is it that serious? You might not even think it's that serious. You might just, send out the cards. You might just send out 1 or 2 cards. I'm just really curious about it on this Vlogmas Day 3. So I think I said just about everything I wanted to say. Yeah, I did. I just wanted to chit chat for a minute because I have to finish writing my cards, and just let me know in the comments section. What do you think about this? I appreciate you guys for watching so much. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.